everybody always, no, you don't have to. You can try to design your home / your addition without hallways. Hallways are wasted space. You don't really live in them. You just pass through. I realize the bigger the house, the more chance you're going to have, the bigger addition. But see if you can make an arrangement where you don't have hallways. Maybe that, can be changed into like a den, and then there's doorways out the den. I don't know what the situation is, but think about not wasting space with hallways. These days, when you're doing that addition, you need to think about spraying for termites. And I know a lot of times that's not really thought of when it comes to additions until it's kind of you're involved with termites. So one of those things is even with a wood joist or a concrete, and then wood on top of it, you might want to go ahead and get it all sprayed before you pour the concrete or before you do the addition. Get it all sprayed in that area so that you can kind of guarantee that you're not going to get termites eating up what you have, and it's not going to be cheaper. So now, when it comes to electrical and plumbing, this is where you need to be talking to somebody that has some experience in those areas. Generally, your outlets are no further than 8 foot on any one wall. You should have an outlet, okay? And they're generally all the same height. You can change it, but generally that's what you want. When it comes to lighting, you don't generally want your lighting circuit on your outlets, because if somebody trips an outlet, it could be shutting the lights off in the house. I personally don't want my lighting on the same circuit as an outlet. So you're talking about a certain amount of circuits that are going to be for this addition. Maybe just one if it's a small addition. One circuit, maybe two. Do you have the room in your panel for that? I mean, you can do piggybacks, you can do slims. We know where there was one, now there's two. So that you do that enough that you can bring in a 220 if you need to put in a air conditioner in a window unit or a mini split. You can do that, but you need to look into your panel and see if you can carry it. That 200 amp service is only generally going to carry 250 amps. Are you already maxing out? Are you going to have to go to a larger service? Generally you go from 200 amp to 400 amp with sub panels, and you could be getting into some money if you're having to build a big addition that has you're already maxed out on your service, especially if it's an older house with a 100 amp service. Putting in a 30 amp air conditioner, might not be what you want to do. When it comes to plumbing, if you're doing an addition with you're going to have to make sure. One thing for sure that plumbers know is that it goes downhill, okay? It's got to go downhill. You can't go uphill unless you grind it up and pump it. Now you're talking another great big expense for those grinder pumps. Well, there's toilets with the grinder pump off the back of it. It can be done, but you're looking at an expense, okay? So hopefully I'm touching on everything. You can spend $300 on a door, and you can spend $5,000 on a door. So decide what kind of door you want. You can spend the same amount on windows. You can spend a fortune on siding, or you can just do T111 or vinyl siding, 3.5 Dutch lap.
The Childress family says that you're doing a great job, and she enjoys the live channel.
You know what? I had a long talk with Mr. Childress, and I like you guys. There's a lot of good heart in that family. I watched some of y'all's videos with your singing, and it's really fun to see that in a family when everybody's all messed up. Thanks for the heads up. Hopefully I'm helping. That's really all I'm trying to do here is try to help. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm just trying to give you some of the experience that I have, and I know there's guys who have more experience in any given trade, but I'm just sharing with you where they might not have the time. What I know, and if somebody comes along and wants to correct me, the one thing I do know is that I'm not perfect, okay? The day that I stop making mistakes will be the day I'm dead, okay? I just try not to make a lot of mistakes. I try to think about what's best for the people that I'm helping. And in along this way, what I'm doing here is leaving my feelings with people. And hopefully I'm conveying that I actually care about people. So if that's the case, that makes me feel better. Hopefully, if I go back and look at it and say I need to change my attitude about something, I'll try to do that. One of the things that I've been doing is telling myself, hey, you're at this person's house to make their life better instead of you're at this person's house to make money. The same thing comes with talking online. What I want to do is try to make your life better with the information that I'm sharing with you. Hopefully that helps you make decisions that you want to make. But I watched an interview with Terry Crews, and one of the things he said just totally, and he's a super nice guy. I mean, or at least he seems to be. He was down and out. You know, he failed as a football player, decided to go to Hollywood to try to be successful, and he was pushing a broom and feeling depressed.
Your opinion on Traffic Master laminated flooring, the 99 cents a square foot, any good for a mobile home?
I don't like laminated flooring.
Or the Traffic Master?
I don't like laminated flooring. Doesn't matter what the brand is. I don't like the vinyl stuff because, you know, it breaks real easy. It's hard to get together. It's harder to put together. The SmartCore flooring and all the other brands, they try to say life proof and all that stuff. The problem I have with that particular type of flooring, the laminate or otherwise, is if you get a scratch in the middle of it, you're not going to be able to get it apart to replace just that piece. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody out there who might know how, but every time I've ever messed with any kind of laminate, plastic or, you know, or that snap together flooring, those pieces break whenever you start trying to take them out. So if you get a scratch in the middle of that floor, the whole area has got to be replaced. So to me, it's about as good as linoleum. It has its disadvantage is that it tends to move around. It's a floating floor system. So I've went into places where they said, hey, I got a gap over here by my trim. What are we going to do? I don't know where to get this. So I said, can you just give me a second? Then I take a run and slam on the brakes, and it slides it up underneath the trim. It's like, well, what do I owe you for that? I don't want to charge you for that. Now you know a trick on how. I mean, it's a floating floor system. It's meant to do that. If you made it tight, it would buckle up whenever it gets too warm because it's expanded. The problem that I have with the laminate floors is any laminate floor, if it gets water underneath it, it swells up. If it gets water above it, it swells up at the joints. And then you wear off, with the wear and tear of your walking, you wear off those seams because they're the ones that swell up. When it comes to the total vinyl ones, they say they're life proof. If you look at the thickness of that material on top, that color on top, it's not even as thick as your fingernail. It's the thickness of the color on your Formica top. So consider you're walking on something similar to the Formica top on your counter, and you got sand on your shoes or a rock stuck in your shoe, or somebody drops a hot pan or a curling iron on it, it's melted, okay, or it's burnt. There's no way to fix that. It's
That's
not
the stuff
hard.
we're putting in my chicken house, right?
Yeah, that's because I had some. No, that's the laminate floor. That's
Okay.
that's not laminate floor. That's Traffic Master Grip Strip, which is Home Depot also.
That's what he was asked to. Traffic Master. Oh, laminate flooring. Okay.
Laminate flooring is still Traffic Master. They make it. I've done it. I don't. It's okay if you understand the shortcomings. If you get a scratch in the middle of that floor,
It's
you're
staying.
not going to get it apart.
What do you recommend flooring for mobile home? Tile.
You know, I don't like carpet because whenever you go in to work on a mobile home
It's disgusting.
or a house, you pull up the pad and the carpet and you see all the dirt that's underneath there. Looks like the sand dunes. That comes from not just you, but whenever you clean it, the dirt goes down through. So carpet has its advantages and its disadvantages. It will wear out just like all things will. Probably the best thing for a mobile home, I've been really happy with Traffic Master Grip Strip, which is where one has a sticky and it lays on top of the other. And it's like, you know, half of it is, you know, got the under and half of it's got the over. So one sticks onto the other. The reason I like that is I know that I can cut out a section and push it apart, and then I can take out that one, difficult, and then put in another one. It doesn't require any glue, it doesn't require any pad, but you do want to have a smooth floor because the dent will show through. It's pretty thick. The color is not any thicker than any other, but guess what? You can go back after the fact. They don't show you how, but I know you can. and you can
We need to do a
replace that.
video on that.
Yeah, I guess so. 1x1 tiles, if it's a peel and stick type of thing, you can use a troweled on glue, and don't rely on that peel and stick, and let that glue get where it's see-through, and where you stick your hand on it and your hand tries to stick to it, then you stick your tile to it then. I don't ever rely on a peel and stick, no matter how good they say it is. But again, that 1x1 tile, you can take a heat gun and heat it up and peel it back out, and then you could scrape up that glue and put another one in. It, tend to be hard to get perfectly matched, but I promise you it's better than trying to cut out a section of the linoleum and try to put another piece in. That will never work. I wouldn't say never. It's just hard.
Generally.
It's like you got a 99% chance it's not going to look good. It won't last. The same with any of your laminate floors. If it's an imperfection on them, life causes it, you're going to have problems. So any 1x1 tile, the Traffic Master grip strip is an exception. I like a lot of the commercial tile, the old, they call VCT, which is the same color all the way through. The one thing I do like, when you start talking laminate floor at 225, 275 plus trim, plus padding and all that stuff, the liner underneath, which some people are using felt paper instead of all that, it ends up being near $3 a foot. When you're at $3 a foot, why aren't you looking at tongue and groove flooring? Not laminated flooring, tongue and groove, but solid pine or solid oak, bamboo. Now you're at $3.50 to $4 a foot more, and you got something that can last 100 years. 100 years or more. I'm not trying to get you to spend your money, but I am trying to push you toward, hey, these are things that I know that I can go in there and replace it.
And it depends on, is that a rental or is it yours?
Yeah, if it's a rental, I don't know. The things that I'm telling you, even that, you can go in there with a sander on hardwood floor and sand it out and then restain it, reseal it. But if you got people that are tearing up a place that's got hardwood floors, that was big time mistake. I'm not going to say nothing because I've made those mistakes when it comes to renters. Maybe that'll be a whole nother section of discussion. But yeah, when it comes to flooring, if you're renting, you're basically going to replace it. It's rare that you find somebody that's not going to cause you to replace it. So just count on it. Somebody's going to have to come in there and replace it. By the way, I've seen carpet guys go right over top of a hole just because they ain't going to take the time. They need to make their money and get out. It's not their job to fix it. It was your job. They just took up the old carpet and there's a big old hole there. They cover it over again themselves. So be aware, be involved. Carpet's neat. It looks great, but boy, you better be picky about who moves in. Even then, the carpet just doesn't make it.
Mobile home floor is not level. Is floor leveling compound hard to use?
No, it's not.
It's easy.
It's something less skilled than drywall finishing. You're trying to get it level, and you can use any number of flat things to get it flat. It's more about getting used to mixing it. And so it's a plastic-like consistency. That term is something you got to get used to because that's a term they use for a lot of things. But that floor leveler, that usually comes about whenever you have one material that's different than another. So what you might want to do is try to add shims if it's too low. See what you can do to raise the material around it. But if you can't, the floor leveler is something I use all the time. It's a necessary thing. It's not really hard to use. It's not at all. So it's part of flooring on concrete or a mobile home floor or a house, house. It's you use it in any kind of flooring. It's quite normal. So don't feel like it's just mobile homes. Mobile homes have their unique things when it comes to flooring. What would that be? If it's a particle board floor, you can lose that floor because of a leak that runs into the plastic underneath the house and soaks up to the bottom of the particle board. And you didn't have any water on top. It's soaking up from the bottom. So you don't have the plastic on the bottom and the water runs down the hillside and it's underneath your house. It hits the bottom of that particle board and that starts swelling up. Particle board, although the cheaper way of making a floor, is the enemy to longevity. You know, invariably somebody's going to spill something, and it's if it reaches that particle board, you know, some point down the road, you know, you're going to have an issue. I've seen it where mice have chewed on a water line that's going to the other end of the house. In the living room, we'll have a swelled up place, and they can't figure out how in the world is this swelling up in the living room. It's because the water line sprayed up to the bottom of that particle board, and it got it wet, and that particle board swells up. So yes, that's the mobile homes are basically, it's a home on a budget, and the amount of time that you spend will show up in the quality of the material. So hopefully that's an answer. I'm not trying to be evasive. I'm just trying to, hopefully I'm giving, if you have more questions, please save them, and we'll talk about them next time. Come up with all the silly questions you want to talk about.
Bring a list.
We're not calling your name out unless you want me to, you know. I'm just trying to answer questions while I'm still alive to do so. I don't have any health problems, so I'm not going anywhere quick that I'm aware of. But I'm happy to share with you the things that I've learned and the things that I've been around. I've been all the way through industrial, commercial, trades, both as electrician, drywall, and on and on and on and on, commercial, and all the way through the trades in residential, both in new construction and mostly in secondary.
Wes Bryant says, thanks for all the great videos. Help me put a metal roof on an older mobile home with a rounded roof and metal skirting. Way to go.
Hey, did you get it done? That's great. Well, I mean, you know how many people told me it couldn't be done? I just said, you know what, I'm going to try it.
You know how many people call us up and want you to go all over Hell's Half of Georgia?
Yeah, we had somebody that wants me to go to California, Southern California, and she's saying no. But I'm just saying it's possible to make your home, whatever it is, portable building, mobile home, camper, be a home. Don't let anybody discourage you. Now that you've got your skirting and you got your metal roof, you've got lots of things you can do to make it as your budget allows. And I'm happy for you.
We have a couple that we've totally redone the inside of their little trailer.
Oh yeah.
Because they call us all the time.
Yeah, as they can afford it. There's been lots of people through the years. Hey, kudos to all you guys. I want you to be encouraged with your willingness to sit and listen to me and maybe pick up something that you can use. I encourage you for that curiosity to keep on being that way. Keep being curious, keep learning, keep getting better. And I want you to, by the way, I was going to tell you what Terry Crews said. He said that the thing that changed his life is when he was pushing that broom and all discouraged that he was never going to make it. He said, I got to change my attitude. You know, I'm going to do this job that I'm pushing a broom or I'm a security guard as if they're paying me $1 million a day. How hard would I work if I was getting paid that much? How much would I treasure that job? I'm not going to say that I'm lazy or that I mistreat the customer, but when I thought about that, any kind of feel sorry for me kind of attitude and all that stuff started changing, because it's not that I have a bad attitude.
No.
It's that I purged. You know, it's like, hey, I can pretend, if I was getting paid $1 million a day, how hard would I work? You know, I'm going to want more than one day. So I'm going to pace myself because I'm not going to do such high quality. Such high volume that I do poor quality. So I'm going to be conscientious. I'm going to do a good job because I don't want to lose my job at $1 million a day. So it's not that I thought I would get $1 million. It's because I realized that in my mind, I have to preserve that relationship that I have with them and with me. Okay, so I have to go to bed with me. In the end, no matter where I lay my head, I have to deal with my conscience. So this is what I'm doing. I'm trying to be as honest as I know with you guys. There's nothing dishonest about what I'm telling you. There's nothing shady. I'm not pulling any punches. I'm not being rude, I hope, but I'm just trying to share with you guys what I know. There's motive there because I'm trying to store up treasure somewhere else. All right. I'll see you another time, guys. I wish you all the best. Save up your questions and curiosities for even the silliest of things. There's no silly question. See you later.